Hello and welcome back to the daily edition of Into Vietnam, presented to you by VITV channel. Let's take a look at top stories of the day. The Consumer Price Index is expected to rise slightly in October. Remittances into Ho Chi Minh City hit $3.12 billion between January and September. And MB Security says Vietnam stock will extend 2014 advance. The Price Management Department under the Ministry of Finance forecast the Consumer Price Index in October rose slightly from the previous month. In the month, prices of educational fee and healthcare services may be adjusted in some localities. Besides, there might be a price hike in water supply service in the capital city of Hanoi. Seasonal changes and rising demand for clothes during the cold seasons are expected to have potential impacts on prices of goods and commodities. Nonetheless, the local commodity supply and demand is basically stable. Prices of some necessities, including rice, sugar, and animal feeds, among others, tend to stabilize or even go down in the month. Moreover, authoritative agencies at local levels maintain their efforts in stabilizing the market's prices, contributing to a low expansion of the price index. The Australia and New Zealand Banking Group, better known as ANZ, said is skeptical of official data showing Vietnam's growth accelerated in the third quarter and will keep its full-year forecast below the target set by the government. The bank said it was skeptical of the strong growth trend, as most economic indicators are pointing to weaker growth data compared to the expansion over the same period last year. The government data released on September showed Vietnam's economy expanded by 6.19% from 1 year ago in the third quarter, boosting growth in the first 9 months to 5.62%. The January-September growth figure compared with a median estimate of 5.4% in a Bloomberg survey. The government's full-year target is 5.8% for the second year of growth, below 7%, the longest stretch, according to the International Monetary Fund records, going back to the 1980s. The ANZ said Vietnam's year-to-date average inflation of 4.6% shows persistent weak local consumption, while retail sales growth is lower. Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng said the 5.8% growth target is achievable this year. The World Bank estimates the economy will grow 5.4%, while the ANZ maintains its forecast at 5.6%. Now let's move on the bulletin with some financial news. Mr. Nguyễn Hoàng Minh, Vice Director of the Central Bank branch in Ho Chi Minh City, said overseas remittances into the city totaled $3.12 billion in the first 9 months of 2014, up 6.2% from 1 year ago. The city has forecast $5 billion worth of remittances for the whole year, an increase of about 25% from 2013. It was reported that the remittances to production business activities accounted for 72%, while those for real estate sector made up 22% and for relatives 6%. According to Reuters data, the Saigon Thương Tín Commercial Joint Stock Bank, or Sacombank, 3.76% owned by New York-based Van Eck Associate Corporations and 2.3% owned by Luxembourg-based DB Platinum Advisors, saw a net profit before tax of 2.36 trillion dong, or $111.5 million in the first 9 months of the year, achieving 79% of annual target and rising 6.6% from the same time in 2013. Total assets by September hit over 185 trillion dong, compared to 161 trillion dong at the end of last year. According to MB Securities Joint Stock Company, Vietnam's benchmark stock index, Southeast Asia's best performer in 2014, may rise a further 9% this year as falling interest rate boosts corporate earnings. The MB Securities chairwoman Cao Thị Thúy Nga said the VN index will climb as high as 670 by the end of the year. It was her who correctly predicted in December that the gorge would top 560 in 2014. That would cap a 33% annual gain, the largest since 2009. The chairwoman forecast that profits at companies on the index will rise 15 to 20% this year. That compares with the 13.5% 12-month projection of analysts, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. According to the Vietnam Plastic Association, the domestic plastic industry has achieved a high growth in exports of 17.9% at $2 billion, but continues to face difficulties arising from a lack of input materials. The VPA said in the third quarter, Japan was the largest export market for Vietnamese plastic products, accounting for 24.7% of total export value, followed by the United States, accounting for more than 12.6% of the total export value. However, domestic plastic producers must import 80% of their input materials, and these accounted for 70 to 80% of production cost, thereby reducing the added value and competitiveness of these products. To achieve sustainable development in the future, domestic plastic producers making plastic material export environmental friendly products with high added value that meet international health and safety standards and update their production technology. In the first half of September, local pepper exporters shipped abroad more than 3,500 tons, earning over $34 million, bringing the total export volume up to 136,000 tons, worth more than $1 billion. This is the first time pepper thrived to join the $1 billion export group. More insights in the following report.
The Vietnam Pepper Association says the country exported approximately 133,000 tons of pepper, bringing home $889 million in 2013. As of the middle of September 2014, pepper exports were 4,000 tons higher than last year, worth more than $100 million. In September, 7,000 tons of pepper were exported. In 9 months, the country exported about 140,000 tons, exceeding the 2013's volume and posting a record in revenue at $1.06 billion, up 24.5% in volume and nearly 42% of value compared to the same period in 2013. With the achievement, Vietnam is accounting for 30% of world's pepper export.
Hiện nay thì ngành hồ tiêu Việt Nam thì có một cái lợi thế rất lớn, tức là họ chiếm 50% thị trường toàn cầu. Mà hiện nay thì trong các nông sản của Việt Nam thì cái ngành nông sản, cái ngành hồ tiêu thì đang được mở rộng phát triển, và đó là ngành duy nhất mà hiện nay khi người ta chặt cao su, chặt cà phê đi thì người ta lại trồng tiêu. Thì điều đó cho thấy là cái thị trường tiêu của Việt Nam hiện nay là đang thỏa mãn được tất cả các thị trường.
Tôi thấy là mặc dù sản lượng tiêu của Việt Nam có tăng, nhưng tuy nhiên là cái mức độ tăng này nó cũng đáp ứng và nó đang trên xu hướng cung cấp được cái nguồn cung tăng của thế giới.
Apart from excessive exports, pepper is being traded at a record high price. In 2013, the highest price was $160,000 per kilogram for black pepper. At the moment, the commodity is sold at around $200,000 per kilogram at main growing areas. Black pepper export price is over $8,000 per ton, and white pepper nearly $10,000 per ton. On average, export price in 9 months still remained high at approximately $7,459 per ton, up 12.3% compared to the same period last year.
Giá cả của riêng cái hồ tiêu rất là tốt. Đến nếu bán ở trong kho ra thì như ở trên đó, ở chữ C thì như vậy hiện nay đang bán gần 160 triệu trên 1 tấn. giá nó rất là cao.
Phải nói là cái nhu cầu thị trường trên toàn cầu thì đã rất là lớn, cho nên là cái giá, cái lượng xuất của Việt Nam đến nay thì đã tăng, năm nay là tăng gần 20%, nhưng mà giá thì tăng 40%. Tức là đầu vụ thì chúng ta chỉ khoảng 6.000 đô thì bữa nay đến 9.000 đô, nhưng mà cũng không có hàng để bán. Thì đây cũng là một cái mà chúng tôi cho rằng là khi mà Việt Nam chiếm tỷ trọng cao thì vấn đề đặt ra đây là Việt Nam phải điều tiết được thị trường. Và nếu chúng ta điều tiết thị trường thì cái giá đó nó rất có lợi cho người nông dân Việt Nam.
Experts predicted that paper export this year would surge compared to 2013, with estimated revenue of 1.3 billion US dollar. America, Singapore, United Arab Emirates, India, etc. will continue to lead paper imports from Vietnam.
And now, before we go, let's take a look at today's local gold prices, forex, and stock market. Well, that's all for this edition of Into Vietnam. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon and goodbye for now.